everyone. Welcome to tonight's board meeting. I'd like to ask you all to stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. So this evening, we'll have our district safety plan for the 2022-2023 school year, presented by Mr. Byron McCray, Director of School Safety, Dr. Vincent Leone, Coordinator of Funded Programs, Compliance, and Chief Information Officer.
And the first thing we added this year was our to our safety plan, which is new, is our human trafficking, youth prevention, education protocol. So this protocol was created as part of our grant. We are in year 3 of our grant project, and we are the only school district in New York State to have a protocol that staff know and receive training on how to recognize dynamics of trafficking and students who may be victimized by trafficking or at risk of trafficking. So we're really proud to add this addition to our safety plan this year. We're used to being really big in Brentwood, but we're one of 8 school districts across the country that have developed a protocol of this type: Los Angeles County, San Diego County, Oakland County, Wichita, Kansas, DeKalb County, Georgia, and little old Brentwood. So this is a great protocol to help keep our students safe, and a welcome addition to our safety plan this year.
Last year, we took on the responsibility that New York State Ed required that we establish a protocol for a public health emergency dealing with communicable diseases. What we have in place is several things, several components to deal with communicable disease, which is we designated essential staff. Then we basically worked on staggering staff to avoid all the staff coming into the district at one time. And then we established protocol in the event of employees exposed to some type of disease. You know, we did deal with COVID over the last 2 years. Now we're dealing with the monkeypox, and we're monitoring that to make sure it doesn't come into our school district. Districts must identify emergency housing. If the staff has to come to work and they are exposed at work, we have to provide housing for that employee. The COVID-19 dynamic of a Brentwood Union Free School District school safety plan. In order to address the challenges brought by the pandemic, the District Safety Committee has established guidelines in preventing the spread of the virus in our school buildings. The following guidelines are derived of the following organizational principles. Basically, COVID is still alive, and we still have to be careful, and we still have to continue to practice safety precautions, meaning keeping your hands clean, safe distance. Some people choose to still wear a mask, but it's not required. And we still have to isolate if you come back positive. We do not have to quarantine as per the Department of Health and Suffolk County Department of Health and CDC. So if you are exposed to someone who is positive, you no longer have to quarantine. That means the only way we will isolate you is if you test positive. Myself and Sue Aversa will continue to communicate with the Department of Health, and we will relay the information over to our superintendent of schools. He will make the final decision on anything that we roll out for the district. But we will take into consideration the number of cases that we're faced with, the number of cases that are in Suffolk County, and of course the CDC guidelines. If the CDC guidelines, like prior, said, instructed us to close down, we had to close down. Protocols to address instances of wandering and elopement. These are a few things that we put in place, and we're still looking into, additional safety precautions to prevent students from eloping. And if they do elope, grabbing them up as quick as possible to bring them back to school or take them home. One thing is the door tabs, which is a great safety tool that we're using. We're going to add safety tabs to every doorway in the district. That means if a student decides to leave the building without permission, we will know that they're leaving the building because someone will be monitoring the cameras, and we will get an alert to the security office. So the alert will go off in our camera room, our dispatch office, and also will go off to the assistant director and myself. So we will be aware if someone leaves the school district during school hours, especially in our elementary schools or our high-risk students. Staff meetings. Everyone in the district has to be trained. Our security department will go into training September 2nd, and we'll be going around to different buildings, explaining them and rolling out the new safety plans that we have in place. Basically our panic buttons. Some people are not even aware that they have panic buttons in their classroom. So we will be rolling out different types of safety precautions for the district. Use of school-wide communication and alert systems. That's the panic button that I just mentioned, pre-assigned for building and ground searches. Procedures for assuring that crisis response and law enforcement officials have access to the floor plans, blueprints, schematics, and other maps in our school interior. The school district, we do provide our local precinct and our headquarters, Suffolk County Police Department headquarters, with the schematics of our district. And we do upload the schematics of the building. So if they have to respond to some type of active shooter situation or even a medical emergency, they do know our schematics. As far as them having access to our cameras, I'm still not comfortable with that, but they are working out something where they'll access our cameras once we give them permission in case of an emergency. If you have any additional questions on that, you can reach out to me and I can explain why we're not using or giving them access to our cameras ahead of time. Considering installing door alarms and use of elopement warning devices. This is something that we're looking into. I'm working with the Superintendent of Special Services on trying to locate a device that would possibly work for our high-risk students. We're still looking and researching that. We're going to sit down with Mr. Loshner and the Assistant Superintendent, Stacy O'Connor. Requirements, elements, the district-wide safety plan. Reacting to threats of violence. I'm going to pass this over to Dr. Leon.
Thank you, Byron. Other requirements of the safety plan: reacting to threats or acts of violence, communication with law enforcement, parents, and/or guardians, establishment of prevention and intervention techniques to foster better communication efforts within the school community. And it essentially in Brentwood is a real focus on the prevention aspect of school safety. Logistics concerning access, assistance, counsel, district resources, and communication strategies. Yearly school safety training, as Mr. McCray just mentioned, Byron and his safety team will be going to all 17 buildings and training staff early in the fall, early in the school year. School security staff and/or security tools, safety drills, and the key with the safety drills here in Brentwood is to really drill authentically, not rote, but to drill at different times of the day, at different times of the year, so people are truly prepared in the event that there is an emergency. So authentic drilling is the real priority. Distribution of early safety risk information to school staff and families as needed, and hiring and training school safety staff.
The district must name a chief emergency officer, which is myself. I'll be responsible for communicating with the outside agencies, communicating with law enforcement, just in case there's an emergency here in the district, my office. If information has to go out to the district, basically we'll reach out to the superintendent in schools and he will make the notifications to the community. The building level emergency response plans must have protocols in crisis like evacuation, sheltering, and lockdowns. These are things that I'm going to go around to all the safety team meetings, myself or the assistant director, and we'll basically give suggestions on the building safety plan and safety precautions and evacuations, dealing with people who are not able to evacuate in a timely manner. Brentwood School District must conduct 12 drills. These 12 drills must be conducted before the end of the school year, and 8 of them have to be conducted before the end of this year. So that means we need at least 5 or 6 evacuation drills and 3 or 4 lockdown or lockout drills. Okay, so by December 1st, I will be reaching out, sending out an email to all the administrators, asking them if they conducted their drills. But we normally have a count because they reach out to us when they are conducting their drills, and we keep count. So we are aware that when they do their drills, and we try to participate in their drills. This is the terminologies that we need everyone to understand. It's a uniform terminology, and it's established through the Department of Homeland Security. Shelter in place. This is usually used when staff are required to remain indoors because it's safer inside the building or room than outside, such as during a tornado or severe weather storm. If we have severe weather, the buses can't leave, the students will have to shelter in place. Hold in place. Usually we do hold in place when there's an emergency in the building, like a fight, a medical emergency, or something where we don't want the students to leave their class during the bell change. Evacuation. Students and staff are required to move out of the building because of it's safer outside than inside. If we have an emergency, like for example, we had a situation over at East Middle School one year where a car accidentally ran into the doors of the facility. So we had to evacuate the building because we were worried about structural damage. Lockout. Lockout means basically simple. Lockout means the threat is outside. That means the threat's outside, we stay inside, we secure the buildings, and we can continue learning and doing what we do inside the building. When there is a lockout, we will dispatch additional units to that school to secure the perimeter, and we will not allow people in or out the building without an escort. So that's why we dispatch additional units to the school. Lockdown. Lockdown means the student threat is inside the building. That means you close your door, pull the students in if possible, secure that room. The threat is outside somewhere in the building. That's what a lockout is. This is the district-wide safety team. The district-wide safety team is comprised of most of the collective bargaining unit presidents, vice presidents, and superintendent, assistant superintendents. And this unit is responsible, this team is responsible for reporting back to the superintendent and the board, giving suggestions on safety precautions. Assessing vulnerable school district violence, recommend proactive measures of maintaining a safe environment, recommending training programs for students and staff in violence prevention and mental health, dissemination of information regarding early detection and potentially violent behavior, and communicating with the plan to staff, students, members, and respective organizations. Developing response plans, acts of violence, and addressing threats made by students against themselves and including others. This is the responsibility of the district-wide safety team. Cooperating emergency and local government agencies. I'll pass this over.
Representative group, our town supervisor, Brentwood Fire Department, Suffolk County Police Department, 3rd Precinct, Health Department, Community Mental Health Organizations, American Red Cross, American Association of Poison Control, Suffolk County Youth Bureau, Southside Hospital, Suffolk Ambulatory, PSEG, Gas and Electric, Suffolk County Water Authority, and our BOCES, Eastern Suffolk BOCES District Superintendent.
Now, we do communicate with all these agencies. We do make sure that we have updated information on how to reach out to them. As we lost our SRO, we had a great SRO, school resource officer. I was going to make the announcement next week, Monday, but Hassan messed that up. But so our SRO has left us. Al, he's going to still be working in the district, but he'll be working in the district in a different hat. He'll be the person that we reach out to if we have some type of activity or function at the school district, and he'll be the one dispatching additional officers to the school to help us out. So that's a great thing when we have events. But now we have a new SRO that we have to break in. The good part is he's bilingual. He's good with the children, and he's willing to work out. And Al actually assessed him, and he feels he's appropriate for the school district. But we can't bombard him with a lot of different things right away because we don't want him to leave. All right. So the SAVE legislation, the violence prevention policies, the SAVE legislation, that's what's responsible for us having a safety team in this district and for us to facilitate the things I mentioned earlier. The Brentwood Union Free School District Code of Conduct, these are policies, Dignity of All Students Act, violent incident reporting, fingerprinting of employees, child abuse reporting, and whistleblower protection. Promoting safe schools. The Brentwood Union Free School District provides a multitude of resources to promote nonviolent school climate. We have guidance counselors and social workers and school psychologists, and this is an important thing because this is very helpful with the uptick in human trafficking. Okay, we need them to basically be trained and be able to identify if a student is being human trafficked. And there's two types of human trafficking: there's sexual and labor. So it's important that we can extract that information to try to prevent something like this from happening. Then you have conflict resolution, character education programs, health curriculum focused on skill development and problem solving, and crisis prevention intervention training for staff. Programs to promote positive school climate.
So the first one we talked about is our human trafficking grant. As Byron just suggested, it is a great tool to help us assess our students and our families who may be dealing with trafficking dynamics. So having that protocol in our safety plan is a really great addition this year. We also are in the second year of our Refugee and Immigrant Student Welcome Program grant. So again, it's a prevention approach, and this grant is really wonderful. It provides resources to refugee and immigrant students and families to get those students acclimated to the school community, help refugee and immigrant families become acclimated to our society, provides both students and families with resources to ensure they're really successful here in Brentwood. So we're really, really proud and happy to have that grant as well. Our response to intervention program is an early intervention system, so we make sure that we identify what students need very early in their academic and social and emotional development, so that they don't get into crisis situations. Positive behavior intervention and supports is a system where we explicitly teach children what it is we want them to do instead of reprimanding them for things they should not be doing. So it is a positive approach to ensuring a good, safe, healthy culture in our schools. The GREAT program, the Friendship Club, which we have before and after school for children to participate and really feel one with their school culture and community. Police Athletic League. Restorative practices continues to grow in the district, so looking for alternative ways to teach children when they've done something wrong, when there is an infraction, to teach children what they've done, different things that they can do, referred to as replacement behaviors, instead of just being punitive and exclusionary. So communicating to children that we want them here and want them in school. Athletes helping athletes, strong youth. My Brother's Keeper program continues to be a really, really outstanding program here in our district for our young men. And Girls Inc., kind of the sister program to My Brother's Keeper. So all of these great programs that we have in Brentwood to promote a positive culture help keep our children safe. Ladies and gentlemen, are there any questions?
Really? No questions? Yes. So prior to COVID, we had something. Me, Carlos, the director that I took over for, we started Meet the Director, and we want to get back to doing that. So at least every other month, or right now we want to start off the year with once a month. We're going to set up a date, send it out to the community, and let them know the date that we're going to meet up, and we'll answer any questions that anyone in the community has in reference to security. Basic security information I'll share with you. If you have any questions about security, what we are trying to do to improve the security in the district, I'm here. You can still reach out to me. You don't have to wait for that appointment or that date to meet the director. My email address is available on the website. You can reach out to me via email, or you can call me in the security office and leave a message. I will return your call if I'm not at my desk. The hotline. We do have a hotline if in case of emergency or you want to share some information and you want to withhold your identity. Do you have the number? You brought it up. I said again? I think it's 972-1300. I'm not sure, but it is on the website. You can go to the Brentwood website and the number will be listed there. But otherwise, definitely you can Google it. If you Google the hotline, it will come up. Any other questions? Suggestions? Comments?
Cries of outrage? That's right.
Okay, Superintendent of Schools.
First of all, ladies and gentlemen, can we give them a hand for this outstanding presentation? Just a few comments. Number one, I am announcing this evening that you did mention the emergency housing in case people had to stay. I did want to tell the board that's part of your job responsibilities. You will be housing people if there's an emergency. Okay? No, it's Simone, your house. So, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to say that, we are extremely blessed to have two incredible employees here. Dr. Leone is in charge of funded programs, but he does so much more for us. He mentioned a few grants that he is in charge of. And he not only applies for these grants, he then has to shepherd these grants through the process of receiving them, and then he has to develop, work with district employees to bring this grant to fruition, and he really does a tremendous job. I don't know how he does it, because at any one time he's in charge of dozens and dozens of different programs. So I really, want to take this moment to thank him for all of his incredible work here in the district. He was a terrific hire a few years ago, and I'm very, very proud of that hire. But I'm also equally proud of Mr. Byron McCrae. He is obviously our Director of Security, and since he's come over as the director, he's just added a whole another level of professionalism. If you're in the district, please know that the Director of Security spends his days and nights thinking of how to keep children and staff members safe. He really takes it to heart. He lives it. It's 24 hours a day. During the height of COVID, Byron was up at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning receiving phone calls. He's still that way. It really is amazing. Ms. O'Connor, you can attest to this. You could call him at any time of the day or night, no matter where he is. And this has happened. He's been out with his wife. It could be out to dinner. It might be, in Nassau County or the city. He'll hang up the phone and he will get in the car and be wherever he has to be as soon as he can. He drops everything to respond to some type of emergency. And we are so fortunate. And I just want to, publicly at this time, thank Mr. McCrae for everything. So did you say the date, September 28th? Did you say the date of the workshop? I wasn't sure if you know. Okay, so you did mention that we have to have a workshop. Okay, the safety plan, just so you know, the safety plan must be posted on our website for 30 days. Okay, and it's there so community members can obviously read the safety plan, make some comments, establish some questions, and then we have to have a public workshop. And we're having a public workshop on September 28th. It has to be within 30 days after you post it. So obviously we have our meeting today on August, in August. Obviously we're a little bit more than the 30 days. So we will have a workshop on September 28th. You gentlemen, I hope you'll be there. Answer questions by any community members. Okay, any comments, any adjustments that we have to make to the plan? Obviously, the safety committee might want to weigh in on certain components. And then after that, then we can, officially submit our safety plan to New York State Ed. So September 28th, and I believe we agreed on 6 o'clock. It will be in a forum like this, either South Middle School or Sondling Auditorium. Okay? All right, so let me turn it back to you guys.
And I'd like to correct that number. It's 631-972-1375. 631-972-1375. There's several, huh? Okay. 972-1555. They all work. Okay, so just call them. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
evening, everyone. We're going to continue with this evening's meeting, and we're going to call up our student liaisons, Jose Hidalgo and Manal Tariq.
Hello and good evening, everyone. My name is Nahil Tariq,
My name is Jose Hidalgo.
and we're here tonight on behalf of the student body.
We would like to begin by thanking the board for the implementation of a 9-period day for the following school year and those to come. For those students who previously had a full schedule, now have a lunch period as well. This also allows more room for electives, additional AP and honors courses. Some of the new course offerings include AP Capstone, AP Human Geography, Dance, Trigonometry, Cybersecurity, Introduction to Statistics, and Public Speaking, as well as the BOCES Cosmetology and Barbering course. All of these courses are intended to address the needs of students and create a better love for learning both in and out of school.
We would also like to thank you for the changes made regarding the dress code for the new school year. Many students had several complaints about the old dress code as they found it unfair and disliked it. However, after receiving the new changes made for this upcoming school year's dress code, it is fair to say that many of the students would be happy and satisfied with the modified dress code. We hope the new dress code meets the satisfaction of students and gives them plenty of freedom to express themselves through their clothes while still remaining appropriate for a school environment. It is a great balance that is very much appreciated and it is more than likely that there will no longer be problems regarding this issue. I want to thank the board for their support in bringing students, parents, administrators, teachers, and board members together to come up with something we can all agree on and have students follow. During previous board meetings, Mauricio Diaz and Priscilla De Jesus brought up students' concerns regarding the steadily declining quality of the lunch in the school. Many students had complained about receiving food that had already been expired, had unreasonably small portions, or food that had just been unappealing to many of them. Although the red dot lunches had brought significant improvements after many students had raised concerns in the last year, they are now being removed since every student is required to have a lunch period. Another reason why we thank you for the 9-period lunch day. We do hope to add new lunch options to the menu that students find more appealing through student survey taste testing, as well as halal lunch menu options for students with dietary preferences or requirements. I hope we can meet soon so that student lunch will not become an issue this year.
We would like to thank Mr. Callan and the Board of Education for the opportunity to speak tonight. We appreciate everyone's involvement in the betterment of our schools and community. We look forward to being representatives of the students of Brentwood High School, and our wish is that the communication between the board, students, teachers, and administrators remains strong and positive for this upcoming school year. It really truly does take a village to keep our schools strong. Thank you and have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that wonderful, wonderful presentation, and it is our pleasure to help our student body, our community in any way. And duly noted, we are still looking for ways to upgrade our lunch options. We know that it's not appealing to many and maybe not enough for many. So we are definitely working on that, and we will be meeting with the student body and yourselves if you want to participate in that, to bring that to fruition. You're welcome.
Can I also add that we currently have a school lunch survey that's out? It came out on your parents' square, so if you haven't responded, please do. We're going to look at every single response that comes in. We ask what you like about school lunch, what's your favorite meal, what's your least favorite meal, what you would like to see on the menu, what other improvements we could make in the cafeterias besides the food. Maybe there's some other things, families are thinking of, students are thinking of. So we encourage as many students as possible to please respond to that survey.
Are we going to send out a reminder about the survey to the student body?
We can certainly do that. It's actually been out on Parent Square.
We
but
should send out a
A
phone
robocall?
message.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we can do a
And it also
robocall.
involves some halal options,
Yes.
just for people who are
Yeah.
interested.
Are we able to send out a survey for the kids to fill out?
No, that's.
That is
a
what-
survey.
Well, that's the
Parents.
parent square, because I
Right.
got the one for the parent square. So I, as a parent, fill it out. Is there one for the
Hopefully you
kids to fill
confer
it
with
out?
your child
Yes, the
about
assumption
it,
is they're gonna
because we
speak to the
don't have
students.
direct access.
But there's also, students are also receiving it as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when you send out a Parent Square, we have the option of sending it out to parents, staff members, and students, or
Okay.
or all three.
Okay.
Like for example, when I send out a message, like this evening, I sent it out to all three, the parents, staff, and students, so they all receive the message. The same with the survey. So I would like to say, Jose and Manal, that was just fantastic. You are really a testament to Brentwood.
And during summer vacation too.
And
School
summer
hasn't even
vacation. So
So
things
it's
are only
duly
gonna
known.
get better. I mean, your vocabulary, your poise, very impressive. And you know what? I know we have some new people to the district, so thank you for impressing them very much. That was really fantastic.
Okay. Questions on agenda items?
Okay. Oh, you did? Oh, okay. All right, good.
Sorry. Questions on agenda items? Public participation during this board meeting shall be in accordance with Board Policy 1230. Do you have any questions, Kathy? No? Okay. B1A, Order of Business. A motion would be in order to adopt the resolution as follows. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby suspends the order of business for this meeting and this meeting only according to Policy 2350. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Julia Burgos. I need a second.
Second.
Second made by Cindy Seferi. All in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? So moved. Consent agenda. Be it resolved that the following items be approved. B2A through B2N. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Maria Gonzalez Prescott. I need a second.
Second.
I need a second by Cindy Seferi. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No abstentions? So moved. D1A, appointments, resignations, and leaves, certificated personnel. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby approves the certificated personnel action report contained in the board packet for the August 25th, 2022 board meeting. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Cindy Seferi. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Maria Gonzalez Prescott. All in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? So moved. D1B, be it resolved that upon the recommendation of Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby approves the non-certificated personnel action report contained in the board packet for the August 25th, 2022 board meeting. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Maria Malave. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Simone Holder Daniel. All in favor?
Aye.
Noes? I abstain. So moved. Congratulations. D1C, creation of special education transition coordinator position. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby creates a new position of special education transition coordinator effective August 25th, 2022, and be it further resolved that the newly created position shall be a 10.5-month full-time position, which shall be accreted to the Brentwood Principals and Supervisors Organization, BIPSO, and be it further resolved that effective August 25th, 2022, the table of organization shall be amended to reflect the special education transition coordinator shall report to the Assistant Superintendent of Special Services. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Hassan Ahmed. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Cindy Safiri. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? So moved. D1D, be it a creation of account clerk position, Information and Technology Office. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby creates a new position of account clerk effective August 25th, 2022, and be it further resolved that the newly created position shall be a 12-month full-time position, which shall be accreted to the Brentwood Clerical Association, and be it further resolved that effective August 25th, 2022, the table of organization shall be amended to reflect the account clerk shall report to the Network and Systems Coordinator. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Hassan Ahmed. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Maria Malave. All in favor? Aye. Noes? Abstentions? So moved. D1E, Administrative Table of Organization, Assistant Principal, Secondary. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby appoints Kathleen Hudzik as an Assistant Principal, Secondary, for a 4-year probationary period effective August 29th, 2022 through August 28th, 2026, at a salary as set forth in the negotiated agreement between the Brentwood Union Free School District and the Brentwood Principals and Supervisors Organization, BIPSO. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Julia Burgos. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Hassan Ahmed. All in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? So moved. Congratulations. D1F, Administrative Table of Organization, Assistant Principal, Elementary. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby appoints Nadine Scott as an Assistant Principal, Elementary, for a 4-year probationary period effective August 29th, 2022 through August 28th, 2026, at a salary as set forth in the negotiated agreement between the Brentwood Union Free School District and the Brentwood Principals and Supervisors Organization, BIPSO. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Hassan Ahmed. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Cynthia Safiri. All in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? So moved. Congratulations. I need a motion to table D1G.
Motion.
Motion by Simone Holder. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Cindy Safiri. All in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? So moved. D1H, Administrative Table of Organization, Special Education Transition Coordinator. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby appoints Karen Gross as a Special Education Transition Coordinator for a 4-year probationary period effective August 29th, 2022 through August 28th, 2026, at a salary as set forth in the negotiated agreement between the Brentwood Union Free School District and the Brentwood Principals and Supervisors Organization, BIPSO. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Maria Malave. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Hassan Ahmed. All in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? So moved. Congratulations, Karen. F1, miscellaneous items for information only. Board of Education meeting held on September 15th, 2022,
that
executive
correct?
session. Yeah,
September 15th?
September 15th, executive session to start at 6 PM and public session to commence at 8 PM. And we've just added the September 26th, September 28th meeting for the
6 p.m.
safety plan, and that will begin at 6 PM.
We just have to call it a public hearing. So we
Okay, sorry. Public hearing for the safety meeting, September 28th at 6 PM. G1A, old and new business. Rich?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is actually probably going to be my shortest old and new business. Although there's lots of going on in the summertime, there really is, but you've heard me the last 2 months speak about it. So I'm really just going to highlight a couple things. And the number one thing I'd love to highlight is that yesterday we just had an absolutely beautiful ceremony. 127 of our high school seniors graduated in an August graduation. It was an incredibly proud moment for the students and families, and it was a wonderful ceremony put together by the night school staff, Mr. Jerry Chang and Dr. Rodriguez. So I really, even though they're not here with us, I'd like to give them a big round of applause because it was just absolutely beautiful. Also, as a note of a point, because this question comes up frequently, I would like to say that the August graduates, it kind of sounds crazy that I'm including this, but people who've been listening to the board meetings know that this has been a question frequently asked. The August graduates are actually kind of put together or lumped together, if you will, for lack of a better term, with the June graduates. So when we report our numbers to the state, those 127 graduates get added to the approximately 1,200 graduates that we had, or between 1,100 and 1,200 graduates that we had earlier in June. So I just wanted to make that point to the school community. Also, I just want to thank that today we just had an absolutely beautiful community outreach where so many different organizations, in particular the registration office, the bilingual office, a few other offices over at Central, they put on just a beautiful ceremony and distribution of supplies to so many kids. It began at 4 o'clock. They had different sessions at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, I think. It just kept going. And so many of our students and families showed up, were given supplies that were generously donated by so many different organizations. Too many for me to list, but we are so fortunate to have so many different organizations that are quick to help Brentwood students out and families. They are, you just have to pick up the phone and make a phone call, and before you know it, we'll have 200 book bags filled with notebooks and pens and pencils and all kinds of other things. We'll call different organizations and they'll send over food so generously donated. It really is endless, so we're very fortunate, and it's not just Brentwood. There's people across this island that are so quick to help out, and that's really commendable. I think now, you know what I should say too. I'm sorry. Something really exciting also occurred the last 2 days. We had the new teacher orientation. And actually, we have one of the new teachers here today. Not really a new teacher. She's been with us for a while. But she was there. We had approximately 120 to 140 because as Mr. DeMaria is here, she actually was a teacher prior to this year, but she came out to the new teacher orientation. So we hired about 120 new teachers in different places across the district. And I have to say that we are really excited about this group of teachers. They are just dynamic, excited, really hungry to get started, and it was a terrific 2 days. I do want to thank the assistant superintendents and the coordinators and the assistant coordinators. They put on just a terrific professional development for these new teachers. And actually, I do want to thank the BTA. They met with the teachers on Tuesday morning and Tuesday afternoon. We also had other people across the district, human resources, met with the teachers, because obviously there's lots of paperwork that goes along with being a new teacher. But really it was a collaborative effort, and I'm just here to tell the Board of Education and the community that we have hired a great crop of teachers. Also, I'm thrilled about the new appointments this evening. I think they're going to just do a terrific job. We have over at Southwest, we have South Middle School, we have a transition coordinator. We're excited to see what they're going to do for us, because we're certain it's going to be great things. So I think that's it. Anything else, Ms. Ortiz? Ms. Young, Ms. Palmer, did I miss anything? There's just, like I said, there's just so much going on. But we're also excited. September 6th, we have our new faculty, we have our staff orientation. That is the Tuesday after Labor Day. That's really the first day of attendance. That's just staff attendance, however. And then on that Wednesday, that's the first day of student attendance. And again, we can't wait to have the kids cross the school threshold, because we are looking forward to starting this year. I think it's going to be one of our best ever. As a matter of fact, I'm certain it's going to be one of our best ever. So that's it.
Do you have any? Thank you, Rich. Do we have any public comment? Anyone set up? Do we have anyone in the audience who would have any commentary, any questions? No?
Say one.
Hello, everybody. How are you? Oh, man, I feel a little blockage here. Can you guys all hear me?
Yes.
All right. My name is Desiree Thomas. I'm from Brentwood. I know that's what I'm supposed to say before I come up here. I have my tribe with me coming here from football, so bear with me here. One of the things I actually was listening to today, I was actually excited to hear that the safety directors were here today, here to address some of those things, and to piggyback on what the kids were saying here about nutrition, which I mentioned in my last time that I came up here. I did see the survey. I saw we had some vegan options up there as well, but I do feel also in conjunction with what they're saying about having a taste testing, because not all food, just because it's healthy, is actually tastes good. So I did also want to bring that up as a community member, that I would appreciate if we could have some taste testing maybe options, just to make it a little bit more interactive with us, so that we can actually find something that actually works. Because I know we've tried a lot of different things as far as nutrition. That's also important with the behavior factor. Another thing that I also want to bring up, as my son is entering the freshman center, and I know that I've been listening to a lot of the community members here about discipline. I did have some issues with Brentwood District, which Mr. Lochner, as I've told you before, I appreciate the way that he handled it as the superintendent. However, I would like to present and propose to the board to collectively, if we can add to the safety plan that we do double signatures when adding on to the disciplinary records, as I've seen some falsified records. And I want to ensure that our children have a fair option when they're leaving the school district to be able to explore whatever options and opportunities that they would like. So I would like to present if maybe there could be a double signature when putting anything into disciplinary records, and also safety for the whole collective, if there could be like a chain of command put in for how we handle issues. If you have an issue with a parent when it comes to disciplinary, maybe that the Dignity for Students coordinator should be contacted before, or the safety director should be contacted before emergency people like the police or anyone is contacted. I think that there should be some sort of chain of command, so that we can actually show that we value our parents and our students, and, also what the board has to say, or, what the actual rules and guidelines are. Because sometimes, as parents, we don't know. I learned a lot this year, about what the policy is. And I would like to just find something that would be more collective for everyone when we're addressing the safety thing. But I will be at the safety workshop, and I hope that you guys will listen to my needs. I tried to make it as cordial as I can here. And, it's always sticky when we get to these things, but it's something that needs to be addressed before we actually go into a new year, because the ninth grade center is pretty tough. I know I've been through it. For some kids, we're transitioning and we're trying to figure out who we are, and we make mistakes, and that should be okay. But I am excited, and I did hear a lot about the positive reinforcement. I'm all for that with my kids, so I hope that we can work towards that. But I do think that we should add these to the safety plan, beforehand. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas.
Do you have any other community member or anyone in the audience who would like to speak? No? We thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you on September 15th. I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Maria Gonzalez Prescott. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Cindy Safiri. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Thank you all again. Have a wonderful evening.
Sorry, thank you.
Thank you.
Great meeting. They're great. Oh, very well. Very well.